just coming up to 6:30. I'm on Bang Dad. You can see the elevated highway there. You can see a shed load of Friday evening traffic going past. And up here, we've got a giant Mercedes-Benz dealership. And here we have RevSpec. And I've come to see one car. This is a Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. But this is not just any Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. This is the Hondaghini. This has got a K20C engine in. I brought you a whole video on this car last month when I had the shock of my life and I saw it in the garage at Bira Circuit where PSC Motorsport were testing it. Man, I got a shock and I just made a very quick walk around video showing you that car very briefly. Today, it has arrived at RevSpec. You can see RevSpec up there, the dyno. It has arrived here and it is going on the dyno. So this is part 2, a month later. And then part 3 tomorrow, providing today goes well, it's going to go to Bira Circuit testing. So tomorrow, I'm going to be down at Bira Circuit with this car testing. But today, we're going to unload and stick it on the dyno and see what numbers it does. Now what I've got to explain, if you haven't watched my last video, if you've forgotten, this has got a K20C engine out of a Civic Type R, an FK8. You can hear, that does not sound like a Lamborghini V10 whatsoever. This car is being built for endurance race, and that race, the regulation only allows 2-litre turbo engines. So there is no way you're going to get a Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo with a 2.5 times the size of a 2-litre into that regulation. So what boss there, the team manager of PSC Motorsport and his team have done is they have put this 2-litre Type R engine in so it fits in the regulations because they want to win this race. This is one of the most prestigious races in Thailand. They have created the Hondaghini, something that is completely and utterly barking mental, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, a month ago they'd been testing, but I wasn't there then. It was sitting in the garage. I made a quick walk around video and then everyone went crazy over it. Now it's time for the big time. It's time for part 2 because this evening it's going on the dyno. The sun is setting on Friday night, but we're going to be hitting the dyno with this car. And usually when I go to the dyno, I'm looking for numbers. If I make YouTube and I go to the dyno, I need numbers. Otherwise no one's going to watch. I need big numbers. Today I'm looking for the smallest number ever to come out of a Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo, a racing carbon fiber monster. We're looking around about 350 horsepower, which for a stock K20C is a big number. And then if this goes successfully tomorrow, we're headed for Bira Circuit to test it. So before we get onto the engine and the dyno, which is the main thing, I just want to quickly look at the car because this car, Huracan Super Trofeo Evo, has got a full body done by P1 Composites. Basically it matches the original pretty much with a few tweaks and improvements for the aero here and there. But you can see it's got a full carbon fiber body done by P1. It's also got a custom rear wing that's been built by P1 Composites. It's not a Super Trofeo rear wing. This has been done specially for this car to do the right kind of aero for the long straights around Buriram. This is something really special. And the other thing I just want to point out, these 18-inch wheels, these are forged wheels that are specially done by PSC Motorsport. And you can actually see how the PSC Motorsport is engraved, or it sits proud in the wheel as well. So they actually do their own super lightweight racing wheels. These guys have got every base covered. So with the engine cover off, we can have a look inside the engine bay. Trying to strap down a Huracan Super Trofeo with all this carbon work, all this underfloor, all this rear diffuser going on isn't so easy. They've got to get the straps to lash this down without damaging all that super expensive carbon fiber. So these guys got a bit of thinking to do and a bit of working out. How are they going to get this bolted down? So we have the car lashed down, ready to go. The fans are rumbling. and we are almost ready to go. But I want to have a quick look at this engine and just talk you through it, because they've done a few changes since last time, and you can see they've got a liquid intercooler very neatly plumbed in, got a new tank on the back there as well, and it also looks like the air filter and the inlet has also been changed a bit. And then if we look at this engine, it's got a Prattworks carbon fibre air intake on it, really nicely done, and it's also got the same with the fuel rail. And then just take you around the other side without tripping over these wires. In fact, I won't, because they're firing the engine up. Well, I'll just very quickly show you the turbo, because this has got a slightly bigger than normal turbo, but not that big. Anyway, the tuner is in the car, he's got his laptop open. We need to sit back and see what happens. So we just finished the first run, and the first thing I got to say is this is actually the first time I have heard this running, and it sounds completely crazy. The engine note, I'm expecting a big V10 engine sound, and we got a Honda 4-cylinder. It sounds crazy. Anyway, let's have a look. First run, 323 horsepower, well 324 and 442 Newton meters. That is unbelievable. A Lamborghini Honda Super Trofeo, carbon fiber, everything, with 324 horsepower. It's insane. So we've just finished the first runs, and the guys are taking the injectors out and checking them, do a few little tweaks. We'll just look here, you can see the first run I showed you before, 324, the second one 315, and the torque we've gone from 442 to 450. Now I apologise because the fan is absolutely mental. This thing blowing out there, man, it's like a hurricane. So it is shaking my camera so much, so I apologise for the video stability on this and also the noise. But the good thing is, this place is absolutely festooned with mosquitoes, and it's blowing them all away. So I'm happy about that. What I also want to mention, down here somewhere, we can barely see it. In fact, I'm going to go around the back and try and look through the bodywork. But down here we have the original Super Trofeo gearbox, and they've actually retained that, and they've basically dropped the K20 in and mated it up. They've got a custom bell housing, they've got a new racing clutch, and I can just see they've very slightly shifted the gearbox with some spaces, maybe like a millimetre higher or something like that. But essentially they've dropped it in and chucked the K20 straight on. So they made a few changes. We just had the next run, and we have 359 horsepower and 495 Newton meters. Man, that is absolutely bang on the money. It is right in the sweet spot. I think that's where we're at tonight. And with this engine, to be getting that kind of power, 360 horsepower, it's pretty amazing. On our fourth run, 377 horsepower, 511 Newton meters. Whoa. This is getting a lot more serious than I was expecting. So that's it, we're done for tonight on the dyno. Just under 380 horsepower. I have a K20C and a Lamborghini Huracan. Man, it's completely mental, and this is the step 1 engine. The Hondaghini is loaded up, it's been strapped down, and it's heading straight for Bira Circuit. About 150k drive from here, and tomorrow it will be on track testing. Dyno run went perfect, numbers are what they're expecting, everything went absolutely swimmingly. Now it's time for a day's testing, or an afternoon's testing, at Bira tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. This is kind of part 2. Part 1 was when I bumped into the car in December, early December, and had a shock and just tried to make a quick walk around. Now on the dyno, part 2, and then part 3, stay tuned for that, because that'll be coming up in a few days time, although it will happen by the time this video comes out. Part 3 will be testing on track. So as I always say when I get this point in my video, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, appreciate that as well. And of course, if you want to see the next part on track and further parts, because they're going to have a new engine, they're going to have dry sump, they're going to change the valves, the springs and things, they're going to be looking for about 450 horsepower out of the Hondaghini. Stay tuned, because there's going to be quite a few episodes coming up, and then eventually it is going to race. But for this one, it's time these guys went off to Bira. It's time I went home, went to bed. See you soon.